The weird thing about my dreams is that everybody has blank faces. I know it sounds like real bullshit, but it just is it's just a bunch of people. Like half the time I can't even see what they are.
Most of the time I dream about my friends or people that I know or people that I've seen throughout the day, so it tends to be pretty mixed up.
Very seldom do I have a white person in my dream. Most of my dreams are black people.
I think dreams are basically, what you already see, just stuff that you won't openly talk about.
The majority of the time when I dream, it's mainly white people.
When I dream about people being in a higher position, I dream about white folks. Sometimes my dream derive around oppression, blacks mostly.
Well, it would make sense that if you've been submerged in a world, in a universe in which you perceive white people to be in power, that consciousness, that awareness would sink into it. It'd be interesting to me to see whether or not the social class of the individual affected that dream.
I just dream of, just being, making it, out of poverty, one day and everything, out of the situation I'm in. I'm homeless right now, and I'm out looking for a job, and it's hard to find a job because, I have a felony on my record.
Julius Wilson, actually, in his analysis of the underclass, often talks about the idea that there are no work opportunities in the areas of the inner city where many poor blacks live, or in the rural South where many poor blacks live. And so that poverty is not just a reflection of consciousness, but actual structural issues. Are there work opportunities? What shape are the schools in where you live? Are they poor, understaffed? The equipment is bad, the buildings are bad. This leads to higher rates of dropout, and of course then that leads to a cycle of poverty.
Possession of drugs. And I didn't even have no drugs on me, to be honest. They free cased me, to be exact, the police. They planted some drugs on me.
Some cop in where St. Louis Center was at, that guy treated me like a total animal. And I even cooperated. And he's asking me all of these stupid questions. Do you always bump into walls? And saying things like, what kind of drugs have you been taking? And so I got up in his face and felt like kicking a part of what they call a derriere for that man talking to me like that.
40% of prisoners in the state, federal, county jail systems are African American males. It's a combination of institutional factors. First of all, the high percentage of African Americans imprisoned is a result of a number of factors. Involvement in the drug industry is an example of one of those factors. Does that mean whites aren't equally involved? Yes, they are, but at typically higher levels, and therefore they're less susceptible to police involvement, interrogation, and stuff.
Those concepts known by both sociologists as well as quite widely used in the African American community, the concept of driving while black. I mean, the fact that this group is targeted by police specifically.
DWB, driving while black, They'll pull you over for no reason. And I didn't saw it happen, plenty of times in my life, where they'll pull me over, lock me up and everything. And then the white guy right there with the same, he don't have no license or nothing. They give him a slap on the wrist and let him go.
When I see authority, more than likely I do think about them being white. I see that as another problem, that I shouldn't psychologically think of them as white, but I mean, that's the honest to God truth. Most of the time we see them as white.
The whites are often still portrayed in the movies as running corporate America, being the top in the military, stuff like that. And so still the sense of where do I belong in society is left in the hands of below whites.
They stereotype half of us by, we all muggers or robbers and this and that, and they don't want us in a corporate, company and this and that. And when we do, we got to start at the bottom and try to work our way up, and we're being watched every few seconds.
Movies, violent movies, and where the characters in those violent movies, they may, and they often do now, have a hero who is black, but oftentimes they also have bad guys who are black. For whites, the reaction is one of fear of the stranger who is violent. For blacks, it's a fear of self, which is much more profound and has a much more devastating impact on self-concept.
It's not that they're absent in the media, it's just that when they are present in the media, they're shown in very stereotypical fashion. They tend to be portrayed much more often as either criminals or as, interestingly, as police officers. So they're kind of relegated to certain positions in the media.
I don't think it's a fair shake in it, because I think they always giving us the back end of things, We get the I want to say, cuz, but I can't, but the messy jobs, I done seen a black millionaire lose everything, and he's okay. He struggled and strive to get it back. But I done seen a white millionaire lose everything, where he kills himself because he afraid of poverty. He afraid to go back to the streets, or even going to be in the streets in a class where he's not used to being,